right, Sean, I want to jump in first talking about the Ravens on Sunday Night Football, the ass whooping that they handed it to the Buffalo Bills, 35-10. It was one of those games where you look away for a quick second, you look back at the TV. Oh, Derrick Henry's running away for another touchdown. You look away for a second. Oh, Lamar Jackson, he's in the end zone. The run game showed up in this performance for the Ravens to the degree that everybody was hyping up that they could have. I think that just plain and simply, Sean, this game is the reminder, and anyone who tuned into that Thursday night reaction for the first opener of the season, this exact statement was said. Give it time. Be patient. You've got a lot of new faces on defense. You got a new running back. They're going to work through the kinks. The offensive line is meshing. There's a ton of new guys in that grouping. It is the perfect example, Sean, of you can't rush to judgment after the first couple of weeks. Teams regain their footing. The real separators in the NFL specifically is typically when we start to get to the middle to the end of October. That's when we have the real true picture of how things are going to play out for the rest of the season. You really can tell who sucks, and you can really tell who had a tough schedule to that point. If they continue to play like this, there is no reason, with a little bit of uncertainty in the AFC North, that they can't go on to win the division again.
This was the game from the three-headed monster that people were hyping up in the offseason. And the Ravens are like kings of offseason hype. Okay, Lamar's got a couple MVPs. They bring in Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers is a fun guy. I guess Mark Andrews is super washed. He wasn't in the plans this year. But we saw what the hype was about. Derrick Henry rushing for 200 yards, a touchdown, and a classic 80-yard Derrick Henry run. And he may be the most likable player in the NFL. He says everything right at the podium. I don't know an NFL fan that doesn't like him and doesn't root for him because he's just so tremendous as an athlete and a running back. And then also, the Ravens' plan was so smart because the Bills' thinnest position on defense is their linebacking core. They lost Matt Milano early in the season. So now they're playing with their second guy, third guy, fourth guy, so on. So we're going to pick you apart, not with our wide receivers on the outside. Trust me, Rashad Bateman is a threat. But we're going to pick you apart with our running back room. We're going to let Lamar run the rock a bit. We're going to let Justice Hill just convert third down after third down in the flat, expose all the linebackers that are getting indoctrinated into the NFL. Welcome. Justin Hill just took your ankles, picked them up off the field, and please get back on defense. They were so suspect in space. But the Ravens' game plan was phenomenal. If they can carry in strategy and stratagem like this into the playoffs.
Don't steal my word.
If they can carry this into the playoffs and not bungle it like they always do and start throwing the rock all over the place, they can be a threat. They can be a threat to any team if they play like this because the Bills were hot. I mean, they were hot. They had momentum. They've been scorching teams, and they got shut the hell down by a good defense and a strong running game.
Well, and this is the big thing. By the way, you mentioned stratagem. I need to remember on Wednesday, we need to remember to bring up my idiotic betting stratagem. Why I keep using that word. The thing that's working right now. We're five in a row. I thought I made up a word, but it's a word. But we're 5 bets in a row on my betting stratagem, and we're going to talk about it on Wednesday. But this also, another very simple take, the reminder of all of the losers out there, the losers that try to tell us running the football doesn't matter. Having a premier running back doesn't matter. First of all, that doesn't apply when you've got a tank like Derrick Henry. Second of all, having the ability to establish the run in an era where so many teams forego it is an incredibly dominant, important way to win. Running the football has changed. That is something that frustrates me so much in these modernists of the game that love to say, well, if you do this really well in the passing game, it proves that this percentage of X, Y, and Z, and you're going to succeed in this area. Shut the hell up. The run game is different. You rotate multiple backs, you attack space, you create opportunities, and when you've got a 250-pound running back that's 6'3", you run through an MFer's face and you give him the damn ball. And it felt like they were trying to figure out how to get Derrick Henry the ball the first couple of weeks, and now, I know he had a big game against Dallas, but like this is the true breaking point of if he stays healthy and if you can keep him rolling, he and the other backs in Baltimore are going to have a really strong season.
I'd be so embarrassed if I was a team with a running back that wasn't better than Derrick Henry this offseason and didn't make a call, didn't try to get him.
Cowboys. Sorry, someone in my
if he just landed at the Ravens per chance, and my team didn't make an effort, or like the only excuse is we literally couldn't afford him. We were so in cap hell.
I don't think his
we
deal
couldn't
was
get
that.
him.
I don't even.
Yeah, it was an embarrassing low deal for letting the Ravens get an all-pro running back. He's not going to be an
1 year,
all-pro back.
10 million.
Yeah, you couldn't find that in the couch cushions. I'm putting the Giants on that watch also. You got Devin Singletary.
Derrick Henry ain't showing up to play in New York behind that offensive line.
Look, I'm just saying you should have put at least a call in to see. You couldn't have done 10-5. Maybe that sways him. Regardless, he shows how stupid some of these GMs should have been. I was saying Stephen Jones should be wrapping his knuckles on the back of Jerry Jones's head and torturing that old man for what he did with how he constructed this team this offseason. He should not be let off the hook. The calls at the Dallas radio stations should all be about, why didn't we make an effort with Derrick Henry today? Why are we still sitting here? And it's not just because the Cowboys aren't even like a top 10 exciting team in the league this year. It's just how much coverage they get for being adequate and seeing Jerry Jones run his mouth all the time, just yapping to no success and making bonehead decisions, like not even calling this insane running back, just that runs so hard, contributes, picks up huge yardage, and kills defenses in the fourth quarter. Joe, were you watching that game and ever thinking the Bills were going to come back after they got a 21-point lead?
No, because, well, you just kept seeing Derrick Henry break away.
Yes.
So, no.
You saw Derrick Henry break grown men's wills, and I was sitting here like, oh, it's over. It was similar to how I felt with the Georgia bet, where it was so quick that I couldn't even get that angry about losing the bet. I just said, that's over. I could have just thrown the money in the toilet and flushed it. It probably would have actually been slower.
Yeah, and you got to stop betting against me on my show bets, considering the success rate that I have at this current moment. I couldn't be hotter than I am right now. He's 30 years old, though, which like, I don't know how to feel about that. I think for any other circumstance, 30 years old is so daunting of a number. Like, I want to say that Todd Gurley's not even 30. I believe.
I think you might be right. He may be. Oh, are you onto something here?
Todd Gurley is 30. So, like, age for other running backs, and Todd Gurley wasn't that much smaller than Derrick Henry. He was a big dude as well. He is just so different. He's just an alien. And I know that it's like the cliche that you always hear. I truly do wonder, though, if there is a certain point in the season, like and they're not like running him to a crazy degree.
Yeah.
It's not 30 carries, Derrick Henry, like we saw that one year where he had 2,000 yards. It's, if you can keep him at 15 and he can be this productive, does he stay fully healthy?
Yeah,
can you trust that?
You need to get Derrick Henry to 20 carries to break a defense. That's the whole thing. Whenever the Titans lost while Derrick Henry was in his prime, it's because they didn't feed him enough. And he's a dude. I know it was reported he put like $250,000 into his health every single year, or maybe it was 2.5 million. But it's training, it's diet, it's nutrition. These athletes treat it so much different.
Wait, who just scored for the?
I think it was Swift, not Swift. Freaking 26 Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, ran it in.
I'm in fantasy right now. I'm only up by 9, and this guy has Seahawks defense and David Montgomery.
Oh.
So theoretically, if there's more scoring that happens, that creates a buffer for me. But at that same measure, it's not. If Montgomery goes off because they're just running the ball, trying to close it. Okay, whatever.
I think you're cooked. Yeah, I think
9 points.
Your goose is cooked, brother. How much is your touchdown? Are you in PPR?
Yeah,
You're cooked.
fuck you.
I'm just telling you, don't get your hopes up.